Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Assistance Center MWBE webinar series. This is the last webinar in this webinar series. We will resume another series later on, let's say maybe in the spring semester. My name is Kenya Harvey, and tonight I'm going to be teaching you how to create your capability statement and show you the avenues that you can use to network for procurement, oh, there it is. So let me just bring this up. So some house cleaning before I do go into the presentation. So tonight I do have Jay, our technical person, who will be monitoring the Facebook Live, as well as Rosalind Perez, our bilingual counselor, who will be monitoring the chat for, chat that's in Espanol, and she will be translating that for me to answer. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to put it in the Q&A or in the chat, and I will address it. If not, one of my staff members will bring it to my attention. So jumping into the slides, in 2021, the utilization rate for minority and women-owned business enterprises, which are known as MWBEs, participating in state contracts increased to 30.5%, which awarded MWBEs $3 million in state contracts. That's a big number, right? And it's continuing to grow. So how much of that do you want your business to grow? It'll start with getting certified. So MWBE certified, what next? What do you do once you become certified? When you get your letter of approval and your certificate for being recognized as an MWBE or MBE or WBE certified firm, you must prepare a capability statement. This capability statement I call the business resume. A capability statement is a marketing document that provides a brief synopsis of your business background and the capabilities that is given to a target New York State agency or authority for their opportunities that they may have coming up. This statement should be straightforward and to the point, highlighting the company's area of expertise. This statement should be labeled and not more than one page. The focus points on your capability statement are the differentiators, which we'll go into a little bit more in the presentation, your company data, your core competencies, and the contact information. So sections of the capability statement. We talked a little bit about the core competencies. In the core competencies section, you'll provide a short statement connecting your company's expertise to the buyer's need. Be brief and use short sentences, no lengthy paragraphs. The products and services can be listed using a bullet, right? Past performance should also be on your capability statement. So in this section on the statement, you will list your top customers that have similar scope of work of goods or services that the agency is currently looking for. You will include a brief descriptions of the work performed on past work. You can use the dollar amounts for each project. This will show your capacity to complete jobs, small or big. Be sure to have the client's contact information, such as their name, the title, the email, and phone number ready if the agency buyer is requesting it. Differentiators. What sets your company apart from your competing vendors, right? Clearly articulate your company's value added and how it distinguishes you from the current competition. For example, do you have a competitive advantage in pricing, or do you have quality in your products and services? Does your delivery services promote customer satisfaction? These are some of the differentiators that you can employ on your statement to set you apart from your competition. Continuing, company data. In this section of the capability statement, you will describe your company's business capacity, number of employees, years of business operations, certification types, include your industry codes associated with your services provided. You can go to the industry classification website to determine the appropriate codes for your firm. Some of the codes may be the NIGP, the National Institute of Government Purchasing, product service codes, PSE codes, construction codes or CSI codes, and then you have the NACIT codes as well. The contact information, the information that you will put in this section, like I said previously, the name, your email, phone number, website, all social media if possible. You can include testimonials, awards, or accomplishments. So the next slide is showing you a sample of what this capability document will look like with those sections on it. So as you can see at the top, it says your capability statement, right? It must be labeled, right, with your logo as well. You could show your logo and contact information with a specific person's name, phone, and email, right? And then you can go into your core competencies. So in this section, you see how this capability statement is sectioned off into the different categories that you're to add. So the first section started off with is the core competencies. So in this section, again, we said no long paragraphs, use short sentences followed by keyword heavy bulleted points, right? Create a new document for each agency. So again, this is another reason why I call it the business resume, because you're tailoring it or customizing it to fit the target agency that you want to do business with, their needs. Call this document, again, the capability statement. Preferably this capability statement is a 1 page and 1 side, right? Go to 2 sides only if absolutely necessary. And that's the same with doing your personal resumes, right? You're always told to hold it to 1 page. The more experienced you are, the more pages you will have. Save and distribute as a PDF, not a Word, PowerPoint, or any other format. Keep the file format small, definitely under 1 MB. Use this whole page, keep page margins small. So you see how this page is formatted, where the margins are narrow, and it's sectioned off and labeled. Each section is labeled the different sections. At the end, we do see company data or data. In this section, again, you'll just be brief, detailing the pertinent information discussed previously, as well as the different codes and the data. So you have, in this section, you would also put your DUNS number, your cage code, the NACIT codes, or any other codes, the NIGPs or the PSIs or the CSI codes, they all go here. And on the bottom, it's just your logo, your contact information again as well. So here's a similar capability statement. So it's blank, right? So to see how you can start importing your information into a statement, but it is labeled as well. Each section is labeled. The format is different. They all will be, depending on your like and your designs. But try to keep it consistent throughout. Here's another example of a capability statement that you could use that was for the formatting or maybe the design. And this one also has colors, right? The colors, I believe, are a big eye catcher. So a buyer, looking over capability statements, the more color in there, I love color. So, if I were to see a capability statement come to me, I would definitely look at those first. Because of the eye-catching ability that it has, and the design that you put to it, the unique designing, would definitely be eye-catching. And again, this one is sectioned off into different sections, components of the capability statement. So you see here, instead of company data, they're using, they're using an executive summary here. Company data is there on the side. Core competencies, the key differentiators, and the past performance. As you can see in the past performance, the clients are listed without the dollar amounts, which is okay, but just be prepared to have that information ready if the buyer requests it. And always, capability statement is to be labeled and your logo should be on the statement, always. So MWBE certified, what next? Once you complete your capability statement or before in the process, while you're in the process of creating, so you would search for your current opportunities, right? The New York State contract system has a host of opportunities there below 50,000 or above that you could search for using keywords, as well as the New York State Contract Reporter are sites that actually house opportunities with New York State authorities and NWBEs. Agency MWBE procurement sites, so sites that you can go on as well to look up more opportunities. The MTA has a procurement site list with opportunities. The New York City Small Business Services also has a site list for, sorry, for opportunities. The Office of General Services, OGS, DASNY, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, just to name a few. So most of the agencies have sites where they post these opportunities as well. So be vigilant to not only explore the New York State contract system or the reporter, New York State contract reporter, but these sites as well will be sites where you would land or locate more opportunities. In addition to that, you will attend the MWBE procurement networking events. There's an MWBE forum held yearly, sorry, and that's in Albany. And then we have the PSE&G LI also holds diversity networking events, a procurement, getting you to meet the buyers with them. That's held in Uniondale, and this is yearly. Every year these events are happening. Stony Brook Diversity Fair, I believe this year they had it online, but they do have it every year. Just look into finding when the upcoming ones are so that you're there. I threw this slide in here because I just was brought to my attention of the New York State film and TV industry. They're looking for diverse vendors, right, to assist with their production teams. On this form here, there's a QR code here. I'm not sure if you're able to scan it. If you are, please do so now. This QR code would take you to the registration page form to complete. So definitely get on their list and be ready for any opportunities that may arise from this, this opportunity here. Networking for procurement, how to use your capability statement and network with authorities. So as I stated earlier, you start by making a list of state agencies and authorities you want to do business with, and then you tailor your capability statement to their need and send it to the buyer, send it to the agency buyers. I talked about the New York State contract reporter, and I just wanted to give you a visual of what this site actually looks like. So this is a snapshot of the site. And as you can see, it lets you know how many opportunities are listed here. It's very clear and easy to use. I want to find contracts to bid on, you click on it. But just know that in order to view the actual paperwork or the bid or to find out who the contact is, you must have a profile. You must be registered or set up as a vendor in the system before you can access that information. You can either Google search New York State Contract Reporter or grab the link here on the bottom. Rosalind, if you're available, can you just put this link in the chat for me, please? Thank you.
Yes, I'm putting it right now. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm. And the next one as well.
Okay.
So New York City Small Business Services. So the New York City Small Business Services has a pay information portal where you would register your business information there to be noted as a registered vendor to do your goods and services with New York City. When you complete this application, it's online. Let's say the payee information portal is a service which allows businesses to be a payee vendor for New York City. On the site, you can manage your account information, view financial transactions with New York City, and more. To get started, you would click on the activation button to complete an electronic application. It may take 20 to 30 minutes to complete. Once the registration is complete, you will receive a FMS vendor number and a W-9. This will receive, hold on one moment.
So I sent the New York State Contract Reporter website to everyone through the chat.
Thank you. So to get to this site, thank you, Rosalind.
You're
To get
welcome. And I'm sorry, the other link is which one from here?
the New York State
passport?
contract system and the passport portal here as well.
Okay, all right, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you will Google, this is what I do. I Google the Payee Information Portal, PIP, and then you click on that. When you click on that link, you want to click on the Activate button to complete an electronic application online. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. Once the registration is complete, you will receive the vendor number. And this will allow you to receive payments from New York City. In addition to that, they have the Passport portal. The Passport is a procurement and sourcing solutions platform, which provides current opportunities that they currently have, right? And if you go to this link here, which was put in the chat, you can look at go through and start browsing some of the opportunities. Now, again, to go after these contracts, you don't really need to be certified. But if you're going to go after an agency that has goals, right, MWBE goals, it surely would benefit you to be certified. New York City Small Business Services. So SPS Connect. So if you are not certified as an MWBE with New York City and would like to be, so that you're able to get New York City contracts as a certified MWBE, you can have the application fast track. So once you apply for New York State certification, there is an addendum in this application which will allow you to fast track your application with New York City. Once approved with New York State would then forward this information to New York City to begin review with them. So you would just look, check your emails, any correspondence or communication from them, just be vigilant in responding, to whatever it is that they're asking, so that the application could move through the process. The MTA. Any business can compete for an MTA headquarters or agency contract as a prime contractor or subcontractor, not dependent on the certification status. However, if the firm seeking to perform work on a contract that has mandatory state goals, like I just mentioned, as an MBE or WBE, it must obtain the appropriate certification from Empire State Development prior. Firms must be certified as an MWBE or DBE or SDVOB to do contracting work with the MTA. DBEs must first obtain DBE certification from a certifying partner in the New York State Unified Certification Program. To perform work on a contract as a SDVOB, a service-disabled veteran-owned business, you must first obtain certification from the New York State Office of General Services, Division of Service-Disabled Veterans Business Development. And to apply for those certifications that I just mentioned, again, New York State, Empire State Development is where you would apply for MWBE certification with the state. For DBE certification, you would apply with Department of Diversity and Civil Rights. They're located in the city. And there's an email address for them if you would like to reach out and learn more. The New York State Department of Transportation as well has a DBE program. They're located in Albany. And there's also an email here, johnny.cisneros@dot.ny.gov. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey also has a DBE program. You can also reach out to them as well. Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority And there's emails and website information here. Rosalind, the NCA link as well. Can you put that in the chat?
Okay, give me 1 second.
Thank you. So if you attended a few, let's say, I believe it was the second webinar in this series, we talked about the application process and, what it involves, being, where you would go to get certified and the addendums and supporting documents. The New York State application, you are able to complete 3 addendums with 3 agencies in this one application. And I truly urge you, if you want to do business with New York City, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, or Erie and Buffalo Joint Certification Committee, definitely complete the New York State application and complete those addendums. So again, we talked about finding the information to become an SDBOB, Office of General Services. You reach out to them. So this is the New York State contract system. I talked about the bid opportunities on this site being below 50,000 or over, and you knowing your keywords. When looking up these opportunities, there are search words that you would need to use depending on your industry. And knowing them will get you to the bids that are open and strictly customized for your industry or the work that you do. So if you look here on this site, there's a couple of tabs here. So here you can either certify, you could search the directory, or view opportunities. So that's where you would go to view the current opportunities. Okay, so it's actually the 4th tab on the screen. Okay, view opportunities. Federal contracting opportunities. So on your capability statement, you will need to enter a CAGE code. And to apply for the CAGE code, you're going to need to go to SAM, sam.gov. That's the System for Award Management. On this site, you can register to do business with the U.S. government, update or renew your entity registration, check status of an entity registration, search for entity registration and exclusion records, and most of all, get your CAGE code. The CAGE code is a 5-character identifier for companies pursuing business with the federal government. SAM.gov in the chat too as well. Thank you, Rosalind. And when you get a moment, check out these sites. I mean, definitely to get federal contracts, you do need to be registered here. So it won't hurt to go in and just, get registered. And also, if you're applying for MWBE certification, just to be prepared for putting this information on your capability statement. Dun & Bradstreet. So when you apply for your SAM, you do need to have a Dun & Bradstreet number before applying for the CAGE code. So applying for a DUNS number is free. The DUNS number is needed before you can bid on any government proposals. A number must be provided for each business location. So if you're an owner who has multiple locations, you would have to register a DUNS number for each location. It's required, like I said before, it's required for when you're applying for the CAGE code and to receive federal contracts or grants at sam.gov. I'm going to take a moment out to pause and to take in any questions that any of you may have. Feel free to put it in the Q&A or in the chat. Well, I don't see any questions. I'm just going to jump right into our upcoming webinars. Okay, so if you do, if you're ready to work on your capability statement, please feel free to reach out to me at the center. I'll put the contact information on the last slide here, so you'll have our email address and our phone numbers to set up an appointment to work on the statement. But I do want to let you know that we do have a list of webinars coming up, especially scheduled for January. So the January 31st is really tentative, but it is on the schedule. January 10th, we have financial statements, which will be presented in Spanish. And that'll be held at 7 p.m. January 12th, we're going to be doing the same webinar, financial statements. That'll be in English, and it starts at 7. January 17th, this is really, really new, and I'm looking forward to attending this webinar, podcasting. So if you're a business owner and looking on maybe incorporating podcasting into your business, or maybe starting a business being a podcaster, definitely sit on these webinars. We're going to get a one-on-one presentation on how to actually use podcasts and how to implement it or use it as a business, profit-making business. Also, and that'll be on January 17th in Spanish and also in English on the 19th. January 24th, we're going to have a presentation with Square that's doing business online, e-commerce. It's going to be presented in Spanish on the 24th. And on the 26th, it's going to be in English. All webinars will start at 7 p.m. If you don't have the registration links and would love to sit on any of these webinars, please reach out. The registration links are being emailed. If you haven't received them already, they are going out. Please be on the lookout for these links to sit in on these webinars. This will bring me to the end of the presentation. I do want to thank you for coming out. I know the weather it sounds like it's getting bad out there with the rain, but the contact information is here. So if you need help or want that registration link for any of these webinars, feel free to reach out to our number here, 631-851-6214, or you can email eapcenter@sunysuffolk.edu. I'll leave this up for a little bit to wait on any questions coming in. Okay, since I don't see, Rosalind, are there any questions on your end or Jay?
Not yet.
No, I don't see no questions.
I think I just see. Is there, okay, to get the info from the past slides, Rosalind, she's very helpful today. But our social media tags, do you have our Facebook and YouTube links?
I couldn't get it. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so click on these links. I'm gonna have them put in the chat. This will be the way for you to access the past slides or any webinars that you may have missed that we have held. Definitely visit our social media, that's YouTube and Facebook. This webinar is actually being recorded on Facebook as well. So you could visit it again if you missed any information on these social media channels.
I'm gonna post them. Give me 1 minute.
Mhm.
Okay, I just posted it on the chat.
Thank you. So the links are in the chat. Feel free to click on them. Do you have the YouTube one, Rosalind?
Yes, so I put the webpage, our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook, and Twitter.
Oh, okay. They're all there. So
Yeah.
feel free to browse those pages to find past webinars that we've held, or even this one that we're on, and you just maybe want to go through these slides again to look them over. Definitely feel free to do so. And if there's no more questions, this webinar will end. And I want to thank everyone for coming out. And I look forward to seeing you at those webinars in January.